Well, thank you for coming back in.
You're welcome.
And it's been a week, and I would just like to once again thank you for your support with allowing me to practice my skills through counseling, and for you being able to sit down and volunteer to share information with me so that I can get to my ultimate goal as being a professional counselor. And just once again, I would like to tell you that the confidentiality form which you signed just was stating that anything was said between you and I is going to be kept private, and unless it was something that was going to be harmful to yourself or anyone else, that is the only reason that information would be shared elsewhere. Other than that, once again, I welcome you, and if you would just, let's continue on, and I'm going to open it up to you, and let me know what's been going on this last week.
Well, the last time we were here, I was telling you about my the man that I'm dating right now, that he's very controlling and very jealous, and I didn't realize he was that way at first, but then I told you about the situation with the people that I've gone out with, friends of mine in my complex, and then he said, well, if you do that, we're not going to see each other. So we haven't seen each other it's been almost a week now, and then I did go down there, and we talked about it, but he doesn't think he has any kind of a problem.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it sounds like everything that you mentioned to me before is still happening, that
Yes.
he is in denial. Is that kind of how you feel, as though
Yes,
that
I
he does
feel
not
like
have a
he's in
problem?
denial.
So describe to me more about this situation.
Well, it's like he tries to make me feel guilty. Like when I'm down there, we went to this restaurant that is one of our favorite restaurants, and I really love it. It's called Michelangelo's Italian Restaurant. It's got a tree in the middle of the restaurant. It used to be a house, and there was a courtyard in front of the house with a tree, and they kind of built the courtyard into the house, and the restaurant's like that. And we love to go down there, and we're down there a lot. And when I go see him, we were in there, and we were with some other people, some friends. Actually, he let me actually invite some people that I knew down there, and we all went together. And I simply didn't have a napkin, and so I'm kind of a assertive person, and I just asked the waiter. I said, "Oh, can you bring me a napkin?" And he said, "How could you do that?" And I go, "What do you mean?" He says, "Well, why would you ask for the napkin when I can do it for you?" And I said, "Well, that's really sweet of you, but I can do it." He says, "Well, you don't need to." And then it happened a little bit later with bread, because we didn't have any bread, and people had eaten it up, and I was wanting some more bread. And I said, "Oh, can you bring us some more bread?" And he's like, "Well, why did you ask? Why didn't you let me ask?" It's just like I can't speak. Like my voice doesn't count. Is how I feel.
So it sounds like he's very insecure.
Yes.
And that you have picked up on it, and you've picked up on it quite a lot. It also sounds as though he isn't wanting you to be in control of the relationship, that he wants to be in control of the relationship. Does that kind of sound, is that how you feel?
Yes, I do feel that way.
So tell me more about how you're feeling with this. Is this a lot to handle? It seems as though you feel very overwhelmed.
It is a lot to handle. I do feel, as you say, overwhelmed. It's like I'm around him, and I feel like now I'm walking on eggshells. I feel like I don't know what's going to make him mad. I kind of know that when we're in a restaurant or in public, and if I'm talking to a man, or if the man's around and I ask a man a question, he wants to know why I'm doing that. Why would you even ask a man? Ask me, and then I'll ask the man. I'm like, well, this happens in foreign countries maybe, but not with me. So I just don't understand. And we get in arguments about this. And I get mad, and then, we don't speak to each other, or we just have a big argument, and then I'll leave, and it's just not a good thing.
So what I'm hearing is, with his behavior, you guys are starting to just now argue, or is the arguing not escalated just now? Is it escalated before you came to see me?
It happened the last time I told you, whenever my friends, we all went out to that burger joint that we went to. But it's getting worse. It's worse now than it was last week.
Okay.
We're arguing on the phone. We're arguing in person now. It's, when these situations arise, I'm getting angry. I'm feeling my anger. And before I was suppressing it down, and now I'm showing my anger, and I'm getting angry about it.
Okay.
I don't like that.
Now, what I'm hearing is though it sounds like you're also starting to get upset and flustered. It's not only him. Almost as though he's getting a rise out of you. Do you feel that way?
I feel like that he likes to push my buttons. He knows certain things he can say, and like I said to him, well, you can talk to the waitress, but I can't talk to he says it's different. You shouldn't be talking to the man anyway. You need to talk to me. I'm the man. And it just seems very male chauvinistic. It seems, Not that I'm a big feminist or anything, but I just want to be an equal partner in a relationship, and I feel like there's a one-upmanship that he keeps me from, being my own person and being independent when I'm with him. He wants me constantly just depending on him for everything.
What you're telling me sounds very normal, and it sounds as though you try to communicate with him. When you communicate with him, what are his responses?
His responses are things like, well, you just don't know how it looks to other people in the public. It doesn't look good. It doesn't make me look good. It doesn't make me feel good. You're making yourself look bad. You make yourself look cheap when you talk to other men when you're with me and I'm your boyfriend. And I just don't understand it. I've had other relationships where I could talk to people and it wasn't a big deal. I mean, we can't really even have friends. And I've noticed if I talk to the girl's husband or the girl's boyfriend, he gets up, he'll say something later on about that, like, oh, you really enjoy talking to him. I just noticed things he says to me that he didn't say in the beginning.
Okay. So, and one thing that I've noticed, it's kind of been a common theme between the last session and the session we're in presently, is you're feeling very surprised about this whole thing. Because if I remember correctly, he's not ending up to be the person that you first thought that he was.
Well,
Are you still feeling that way?
Yes, my father was an alcoholic and he smoked and he gambled and ran around and just had all these bad vices. And he doesn't have any of those vices. He doesn't drink, he doesn't smoke. I mean, he's against that. And he has a really good job. He's stable, but yet he has this part of his personality where he's so jealous and controlling. It's like another part of him that I just didn't see before. I just saw this nice person that was taking me to dinner and wanting to do things with me and sharing his life with me. And then now that I'm getting closer to him, I feel this controlling, kind of like I'm feeling smothered,
That has to be a lot to take on, and I know I can't imagine how that would feel. Although I do kind of want us to see where this is going to go. And as of last week, I wanted you to leave me and have another week go by, and you come back today and tell me if it's continuing to happen. And I've now seen that it is continuing to happen.
Yes.
Though for next week, I would like us to start thinking about some goals that, whether it be one goal or two goals, that you want to see happen and that you can see happening in sight. What kind of goal would you be wanting for this relationship that you're in between this man and you?
Well, I can think of two right now because I don't see myself marrying him unless he gets some help, unless he realizes what he's doing to me. Because if I go into this thing, I'm just going to be unhappy. And then the other goal would be to where if he continues doing this anymore, just not to get upset about it because it's upsetting me. It's hurting my life.
Okay. Well, I like this because you were very quick to tell me. It was very direct. That you have two things set in sight. What I would like you to do, and if you're willing to do this for me, I would like you to, as of next week, you'll be coming back. We'll be meeting. Well, through this week before we come back, please try to see if he would be willing to get help. Now, whether I know you've communicated with him before, maybe, I don't know, setting aside some time for you guys to go out to a nice dinner, maybe if it's just in a park, and try to talk to him about maybe seeing if he would like to come get help. If he gets help, would you be okay with it just being him, or would you rather it be him and yourself?
You mean getting counseling?
Yes.
I think he needs counseling on his own, and I
Okay.
need counseling on mine, and then I think we both need it together as well. So maybe he needs it by himself right now.
Sure.
First to start with.
So this sounds great. Well, let's try to do that. I'm very anxious, and I've come to hear your story and want the best for you. So if you would please try to talk with him about getting help. And then what we're going to do next week is sit down and just try to kind of go from there. If he's willing to do that, then, I think that would be good for you. So just to kind of sum up where we're at now, you came to me first for a very jealous relationship. You really weren't sure maybe how jealous it was until you started kind of reliving the events in your mind.
True.
And then what ended up happening now today is it is still happening.
Yes.
And you're really not getting any resolution.
No.
You still feel like you're not being heard.
True.
And I want that to be resolved for you. So we'll go forward with that, and then
Thank you.
I wish you all the luck this week, and we'll meet up next week and just keep thinking about those goals.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Have a good evening.
Okay, you too.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.